When you look at AI on these images, you see a mass addiction in the church. It's a cult. You got to create a livelihood where you could go and slaughter and murder people in the earth just for the necessity of their crude oil. You got to do this. You'll see that I'm not telling the truth. All you need is a little common wisdom. Now, let's go to Revelation chapter 12, where God spoke to the United States of America and the rest of the world. He knew that they had to go and take that crude oil by way of force. It was not there. He knew that the man was going to lie and call them people's Al Qaeda, Taliban, and they're going to go over there and take that oil because their addiction caused them to do so. He began to talk about the space shuttle in Ezekiel, talking about both wheels, the wheel and the middle of a wheel. People misinterpreted about it. Oh, it's flying saucer. No, it wasn't. God was talking about the United States on how. He said a creature came to life. Had 4 wings. He told you went from the maiden flight, secondary flight, clean until God destroyed the last flight. He showed the horsepower. This thing had to go so far in the air, you couldn't count horsepower. You had to count ox power to take these parts to build this space station up on the brink of the earth. The white horse did it. The red horse did it. President Ronald Reagan. But it started with Carter. Democrat, Republican, they was the same. They lived by the same set of rules designed by the CIA. Well, Ezekiel chapter 1. He said he had the ox, he had the man with the navigator, the lion, which is the CIA, and the ox. And it had eagle wing. Eagle wing would always be that because he was letting us know this was a reusable aircraft, one runway aircraft, a reusable aircraft. It had a spirit to dominate over any fowls in the air. That's it was given the name an eagle. From Ezekiel 1 to Revelation chapter 4, the eagle, it was given a name. He letting you know it traveled from in space. It had to use the ox power to lift its service station because it didn't have no road stop and refuel going into space. Everything he had to take with him. So the first maiden flight was spoken of by ox power. That's what he had to use to defy gravitation and go into outer space. And he dropped his big fuel tanks into the Indian Ocean. Solid fuel boosts the rocket, and he goes up there. he had to rely on his two glider wings to bring him safe home again. That's why the name changed. Either to a cheer that you know that he's flying back. And cheer or care. Then you know that he didn't need the ox power anymore to bring him back. Let's take it a little bit farther from here. As he would go into outer space, building the space station, carrying supplies up there, creating an environment to live while he's there, because the man can't live outside of this atmosphere. Flesh was never designed though, but the angels of God could. So, once he got this created, God began to talk to me. Call me and I will answer him. See it in easy. Sent a man after me and I didn't hear him. And that's when God became angry with me and brought afflictions upon me. Showing me that he had more power and this was a God. He sent this man after me and telling me about my transgression. I was caught up between the earth and the sun. And I thought God spoke to me and told me that he sent a man after me, and I didn't hear you. While above the earth and the sun, I seen these pyramids, one no greater and one no small, around the thrones of God, and I seen the fiery light circling around the throne as if it was a sea of glass with all this liquid fire blowing turning counterclockwise. This is no lie. And as I looked, I said, if somebody try to get to him, they'll get burned to death. If they try to walk across the glass, they get cut to glass. The images look like pyramids, a crystalline. As far as I can see, it circles the throne of him that sits upon the throne. I looked at this image. He was sitting looking at the earth non-stop, as if there was something troubling him. Oh, he hadn't sent the man out to me. And I was living in the other world, enjoying myself. But fear came on me, because he had sent me up. I was a son of man. I was a son of man. I knew that I lived a poor and hard life of struggling when I was a child. And I know the things I endured with hadn't just started. I began to use cocaine after I lost my job. I'm going to tell you the truth. A man with unclean lips dwelling among people with unclean lips. Change began to come over me. I was crying and said, Lord, when I got up there, I told him I didn't want my life. Because things was getting hard. He was trying to trap me and put me in prison. These people knew who I was before I even know. The Gentiles. They monitor the whole world. I looked around me, and all of this stuff was not suited for a human being. But these people were trying to get me into, they was being spared and I was. But it didn't caught me up